I was really high and I saw a Chinese buffet and I thought I have to go to a Chinese buffet.
So like, first off, the lo mein.
So like there was like this pork on a stick too.
I need help. I can't get the shell off of this shrimp. Right. So let me tell you about the other foods that were there.
No,
so
dude,
like there
no,
was
I
this
want to
one-
talk to my chat. I literally just started stream. No. Hold on, I gotta mute my music, but you might be loud enough to cut over it. What's up?
I'm always loud. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. I just went live.
Oh,
What's up?
sick. Okay, I want to tell you about this trip to a fucking Chinese buffet I went to the other day, okay? This shit was fucking wacko. Are you ready?
Okay, but how much did you shit after you went?
I have a gut made of lead, okay? I could eat radioactive sludge and it wouldn't affect me. I am
Okay, how much would a
impervious.
normal person shit without the iron gut?
Dog, one of us found a fly in our water. We would like a normal
In the
person
water.
probably would like shit their guts out, okay? So let me tell you about
hilarious too, because of how little time the water is exposed, because it goes from faucet to cup, and then that's it. Like,
I know. There's no reason for a fucking fly to be in that fucking water. All right, let me tell you about this shit, okay? I went to this fucking thing, okay? I went to this fucking thing. And the reason I went to this thing, okay, let me start all the way from the beginning. Okay, hold on.
go back to your origin. Okay,
rewind,
we need
yeah.
to go back to birth for this one. Let's go.
I was really high and I saw a Chinese buffet and I thought I have to go to a Chinese buffet. Okay, now we're at the right time. Now I got to the Chinese buffet and I got really high beforehand because usually when I go into a Chinese buffet, I I eat like one fucking plate and I'm fucking donezo. I can't fucking do anything more, right? I'm just like, I don't have the kind of stomach that's built to eat multiple plates, right? So I get there, I'm high as fuck, right? My friend sits down and we immediately notice there's some things that are off, okay? There are some off, vibes. I would say the vibes were rancid, but maybe it was just because I was high, so I was willing to sit through it, right? But like it kind of smelled. It kind of smelled like a. It's hard to describe. It kind of smelled like the inside of a porta potty, right?
Why did you eat there?
Because I wanted to go to a Chinese buffet.
Okay, no, but your story, I believe you, right? Because I trust you. But you walked into a restaurant and said, "This smells like a porta potty. Table for 4, please."
Well, I kind of felt awkward because like I'm not used to being high in public, right? So like I kind of felt awkward and like we had already committed to walking in the door and the lady asked how many and we said 2 and then she started walking off and I kind of noticed the smell and I was like, oh yeah, if fucking, it's like awkward, I don't want to be
Okay,
awkward.
so they got you into it. You were like, all right, maybe I'll try something new.
Yeah,
Maybe
they
I'll
were
try
really-
some porta potty smell.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were twisting my arm, but luckily they sat us close to the food, right? So like so we were close to the food, so the smell wasn't that bad, right? Anyway, so I ate some of the food. Hey, Rhyzohm, never eat at a fucking Chinese buffet.
You don't have to tell me that. Not only am I vegan, but also the ones that I have always been health concerns.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're okay though. I'm glad you didn't have to like go to the hospital.
Yeah, we actually sat there and we ate every single item. We like got little sampler plates, right? And we ate the entire, hold on, rewind. I actually gorged myself at first, okay? Because I'm a piece of shit. And I gorged myself because I was high and I had the munchies, which was kind of the plan in the first place.
How many joints in your life have you smoked, and can you count them on 2 hands?
Joints, absolutely, yes.
Wow. Okay, wait. So how many times have you smoked in your life? Can you count those on 2 hands? Can
On
or do you need toes?
Maybe. I might need 1 foot worth of toes.
Wow.
But that's kind of changed a little bit because Delta 8 is now legal in Texas. Okay, so I get high more often now. All right.
Yeah, Delta 8. That's Delta 8, bro.
It's like baby's first weed.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of this.
Oh, really? Oh, sorry.
Is it for wine moms or some shit?
Well, it's like a lower like potency version of weed that like they legalized in Texas. So
okay, I see. I see.
So it won't get you as high as like regular weed will. So I was like, I was like feeling pretty decent when I went in there, and I gorged myself because I was a piece of shit, and I gorged myself. And then after the first plate, okay, so we gotten past the first plate part of the story. Now the rest of the story is where like the real hard hitting shit comes in, okay? Because we sampled each and every one of these foods, okay? And let me tell you about each and every one of these foods. So like first off, the lo mein, all right, the lo mein. Hey dog, this lo mein, dude, was it was spaghetti noodles. It was fucking spaghetti noodles. That wasn't lo mein noodles.
Bro, they had bad food at this place.
They had spaghetti noodle fucking lo mein, okay? And then the second thing was the fucking chicken nuggets, okay? Were literally they were fucking they were McNuggets. They were literally like McNuggets. Like they had all of the McNugget shapes. There's like the 4 McNugget shapes. And so they were like going to McNuggets, or they were going to McDonald's where you get McNuggets, and they got McNuggets, and then they just dumped them into their fucking place in hope that nobody would notice that they were definitely just using fucking McNuggets at their fucking Chinese buffet.
Dude, I love that. Like, I love that you have to you need to. It's like, it reminds me of when I was in high school and like I started smoking weed and I needed to relay all the crazy experiences to my friends, but then like they could only be appreciated because I was as high as I was at the time.
No, I think that this is I'm incredibly sober right now, and I still appreciate this, right? So let me tell you about like the other foods that were there. So like there was like this pork on a stick too. I thought that was like possibly that was like a banger actually. You know what? I think that that was a banger food. Okay. Like that one, like I wanted to go back for seconds for that one, but I had to like save some room inside of my stomach for like the other foods. But like we tried all of them. And like at one point there was, like if you go to a Chinese restaurant and you see like there's some foods that you don't know, right? Like you're like, what is that? What am I about to eat? You know? I feel like that's relatable, right? And so I go and I get these things. I'm not sure exactly what the fuck they are, but they're like, well, okay, hold on. I do know what they are. They're certainly shrimp, okay? But like what kind of shrimp? I don't know. It just said shrimp on the thing above. Oh yeah, also the chicken nuggets that were actually McNuggets, that said chicken tenders on it. That's not a fucking chicken tender. A chicken tender is like breast meat, right? It's not like a nugget. Anyways, that aside, these shrimp though, okay? So I got these shrimp and I didn't realize at first, but they definitely did have the shell on them, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm super high, right? And I'm using I'm like pinching the shrimp between my forefinger, between my forefinger and my thumb, and I'm trying my goddamn best to get the shell off of it, right? And I can't.
Yes.
I can't get the fucking shell off of it, right? And so I'm just sitting there with this little guy in my hand, and I'm just pinching him for like a solid 3 minutes. And my friend is looking at me like I'm a fucking lunatic. But it was like, and it was covered in this butter sauce. Okay. And so this butter sauce kept on like it was like frothing up as I was like pinching it because I was like working air into the sauce. And there was so much of it and it was making it slippery. It was so much slipperier. It was slipperier.
This sounds like it's getting erotic with some dead shrimp over here.
Like someone, and people were looking at me. Like there was this one guy, and this guy had no fucking right to look at me like I was a crazy person. All right, because this guy looked fucking insane. The vibes were so off in that place. There were also like I saw this guy who was looking at me. He had like 2 hairs like for a mustache, right? And they were like curled at the end. Like his mustache was so thin and it was curled at the end like a fucking French chef. And I wanted to punch this guy because there was just something wrong with him, right? Like you should, if you're gonna have that kind of mustache, you gotta have a little bit more, right? And then so I'm like, okay, so that guy's fucked up. And also Rhyzohm, there was a lady behind me, this old lady. She answered her phone. It was a flip phone, dude.
Oh, it's a jitterbug.
It was and the seats were cracked.
Okay.
The seat's on her phone?
No, the seat's on underneath my ass. And I was sitting there and I was noticing all these things and I was trying to pinch the fucking shell off the shrimp and the shell wouldn't Rhyzohm, the shell wouldn't come off. And so if we're getting to the punchline here in a second, okay? Like we're gonna get to like the big part here in a second. I promise. So like I'm sitting there and it was like it was this cracked ass fucking seat and I'm pinching the shrimp and I can't get the fucking shrimp off of the fucking shell, or the shell off of the shrimp. The shell is on the shrimp, not the other way. So it was so fucked up.
Smoke some weed around.
Someone's telling me to smoke weed right now. Thank you for this.
I mean, well, how do you feel? James said that explains a lot when he heard you've never smoked before.
James who?
Oh, from the internet.
Which one? Oh, James from the internet. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, I've never been like much of a like I've been given drugs like throughout my life, but I've never ever purchased drugs, right? Like I've never.
But do you agree that
Oh yeah,
explains
no.
a lot?
Well, maybe. I mean, like I think that what was really fucked up here was the fact that this Chinese buffet.
Oh no,
was,
not the buffet, but
down.
in general, you know, does it explain a lot? You know.
I mean, depends on what way.
I think everyone in your chat who smokes weed knows what way.
The fact that I couldn't get the shrimp shell off because that was listen, that was so fucking difficult. I actually put the shrimp down. Okay? I actually put the shrimp down and I looked and I looked and I looked, okay? I looked at my older roommate that I went to the fucking restaurant with and I said, "Dylan, I need help. I can't get the shell off of this shrimp," right? And he wouldn't help me, and so I had to pick the shrimp up again. So I was pinching it, and I decided at one point, you know what? I'm just using my forefingers and my thumbs. I'm kind of like pinching action, and so I switched to using. I added Rhyzohm. I went scorched earth. I added my middle fingers to the equation, right? And so I had 3 fingers on each hand that was working at this fucking shrimp. And I still couldn't get, I had to fucking like shove my finger in there, right? And get the fucking like shell underneath my finger. And it still I couldn't get the fucking shell. So I ended up having to like incorporate my teeth in there and like really, because at this point, multiple people have seen me sitting there working this shrimp. I feel like I've tenderized the shrimp at this point, and there's so much butter sauce everywhere. It's like I'm like covered in it, like a fucking 4-year-old who doesn't know how to like how to eat their food. I'm just covered in fucking butter sauce, like all over my hands, some on my arms, and there's like some on the plate too. Well, there were also other shrimp on the plate. I thought that I would be able to eat this stuff pretty fast, I felt like. And so I'm eating all this fucking shrimp, peeling it off, and I eat the fucking shrimp, right? And I thought it was probably the nastiest fucking thing I ate there. But we can move on to some of the other foods that I ate. There were also like some of the things that I would expect to have the most flavor.
Wait.
Yeah, what's up?
You really? Wait. What was the specific reason you're like, I need to tell Rhyzohm this?
Oh, I just thought it's a funny story.
Did you know I'm vegan, by the way?
I had no clue.
You're just telling me about how you eviscerate a shrimp corpse. I'm like,
listen,
all right.
I didn't eviscerate shit. It was intact when it went into my mouth. Okay, I was being gentle with it.
I shoved my finger in it, like fell to pieces, man. This shrimp.
No. It didn't fall to pieces. Well, I mean, unless you consider the shell pieces of shrimp, which I guess in a roundabout way, it kind of is. It's kind of like a piece of their shrimp, right?
My one question to you, no matter how many other crazy foods you ate, my ultimate question for you is, when's the next time you're planning on getting high? And it should and also why is it right after we end this call?
Well, I can get high during this conversation if you want. Like that's something I'm
high right now, dude. You need to smoke more weed, Sondsol. You definitely need to smoke more weed, Sondsol. That's my prescription. Dr. Rhyzohm is in.
Okay, well, tell me how I should smoke the weed. Wait, hold on. I haven't told you about all the good foods that I got to eat.
I'll tell you how, baby. Sensually, savor it. Savor that weed.
I usually do. You know what my favorite thing is? When you smoke weed and then you get high. That's pretty great. Well, hold up. Very, very, very specifically. Hold on. Let me be more specifically. When you get like that, like, you know, have you ever like smoked weed and then you get like kind of like a painfully cold sensation at the back of your head? Like that's like my favorite when it kind of hurts.
What? Okay, this is definitely some of my chatter saying it's high school stuff. I think just because of how much more we smoked. I had a friend once, I had friends back in high school who, when they smoked, they would like do the craziest shit and like say that they were experiencing the craziest shit. But I really think so much of that is like psychosomatic. But then again, you're smoking like really.
Hold
like,
on.
you're smoking Delta 8 though.
Hold on. I feel like you're fixating on a very insignificant part of the story. The weed is not the important part of the story, nor do I think that is why I enjoyed the situation so much. The reason I think this that this story is so funny is that I really wanted to go to a fucking Chinese buffet and I regretted every goddamn moment about it. All
What
right?
was the lesson you learned?
Now that's a good question because I still want to find a good Chinese buffet. So I didn't really learn very much. I think I just need to find a good one. All right.
Are there Asian people who live in Texas? Is there some kind of like Asian population?
There are a lot of Vietnamese people around here.
Oh, dude, Vietnamese food is fucking bomb. Go find a Vietnamese restaurant. You will find great food.
I have
a place that's real.
I have favorite Chinese restaurants that are very, very good, authentic Chinese food. I have favorite Vietnamese restaurants that are very specifically like very good Vietnamese food. I want a fucking Chinese buffet, motherfucker.
I see. Okay. Well, I don't know. I think that's a reasonable quest, but I think you'll get there, man. I think it will happen.
So let me tell you about the other foods that were there.
No,
so,
dude, no, I want to talk to my chat. I literally just started stream. No.
Well, I feel like
Sondsol.
I feel like that's kind of selfish. I've gotten this deep into the story already. I've gotten this deep into the story already, and you're like,
do me a favor. Smoke a joint, and then DM me if you still want to talk. Okay.
You know what? I'll do that. All right.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Love you, buddy.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.
See ya.
Oh fuck! I was wondering how long he would let me keep going. He just let me keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going.
I regretted every goddamn moment about it.